Today I want to show you how I like to dip mandrels for glass bead making. So the mandrel is the stainless steel rod that I use to build the glass bead up on. And if I don't put a solution of what's called bead release on that mandrel, then the bead will stick. And so with dipping them into bead release, you can then take the beads off the mandrel. And I'll show you my favorite way of working, and then even at the end of the video, I'll show you how I dip really large mandrels and make a really smooth surface on them in order to make glass beads. My favorite right now bead release that I'm using is Dip and Go Sludge Ultra. Some people call it blue bead release. I've used a lot of different kinds. I like them all. This is one that I have been using recently, and what I like about it in particular is it really grabs and the bead doesn't often fall off the mandrel while I'm working, especially for large holed mandrels. So when I open it up, if you get any kind of bead release, you want to be careful because it's often going to separate, and you'll get this kind of thin surface over the top that you need to then mix. You can even mix the top of the lid, get everything all loosened up. And then after you feel like it's all loosened up, clean off the mandrel. I'm not going to worry. This one isn't really for dipping. This mandrel is really for mixing. A little trick that I like to do is to put some, maybe beads that I don't care about anymore, or marbles or something like that, and you want to pop them into the solution. And that way, when you shake it, it will help you shake up all the gunk that settles on the bottom of the jar. Make sure you put the jar lid on nice and tight, and then give it a good shake. And those beads inside there are going to help loosen up any material. If you do have to thin this at all, I would go very slowly and thin it just a little at a time. It's already making a bit of a mess. And you should be ready to go. When you first get it sent to you in the mail, there's quite a bit of mixing to do. But after that, it's just sort of a daily maintenance. Okay, so now I'll show you what I like to do for dipping mandrels. The mandrel size that you want to use is really personal preference. There are a variety of different sizes that I like to use. I'm going to show you all the different ones that I'm going to dip today, starting with the 3/32 inch mandrel, which is about a 2 millimeter. And if I dip it really fast, then a very thick amount of bead release will end up on the end of the mandrel. If I dip it really slowly, then it'll be a very thin amount of bead release that is left behind. I like to work with a very thin amount. I like the dip to be very regular, and it's really like, I would say pancake batter. Would be about the consistency. So if I lift this up, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And it's a slow dip in and a slow straight dip out. And if there's a little bit of a drip on the end, I just roll it on the edge of the jar to get rid of that dip. And then I stick it into this little glass container that I have. It's full of, these are just dried beans. You could put almost anything in there. Some people I know use rice. Some use potting soil or, little stones, something that is easy. So slowly in and slowly out. And then on the edge to just get rid of that little drip. Again, slowly in and then slowly out. If I'm going to make a very long bead or many beads on the mandrel, then I'll dip it deeply. If I'm going to make just a very small bead, then I don't need to dip it that deep, and I'll just go a little bit in and a little bit out, again rolling the edge on the side of the jar. I just dipped there. a 1/8 inch mandrel, which is about a 3 millimeter. And I can just dip it slowly down and then slowly up, making it really consistent. And I think the trickiest part is not letting them touch each other when they're in the jar. Some people like to use a wooden block with holes. I don't like to have to go into each hole. I'd rather just kind of just jam them into a pot. Again, I'll dip this one deep and then slowly take that out, roll it on the side, put it into my container. If I want to do something that's thicker, let's say this is a 1/4 inch mandrel, which is about a 6 millimeter, same thing goes. And I would say it's almost a little slower when you want to come out. I think that the diameter of that mandrel grabs the bead release a little bit more. So nice and slow, and give it a shake, give it a touch on the edge of the jar, get rid of that drip, because you don't want that drip to come down and then be uneven all the way around when you're making your bead. And then pop that in there, and then you can keep on going. For the largest mandrels, let me show you those. They are these right here. I think that the largest one I have is 21 millimeters. Let's do the biggest one we have. So that one, sometimes when I'm working with a large mandrel, I want to make sure the surface doesn't have any oils on it and it's all clean. There isn't any little spot of rust. It's really crucial to have the bead release on there on a beautiful mandrel so that as you're working on it, which could be, I don't know, a couple hours, that the bead won't fall off the mandrel. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a little piece of like scrubby pad or sandpaper and then rough up the surface just a little bit. I guess I'm not necessarily roughing it up, I'm sort of abrading the surface lightly. And then that way I know that it's really clean. And I'll hit it with the scrubby pad. And then not touch it again with my hand, but I can give it a wipe with a rag. And this is a straight down, just like the other ones. And then slowly, I'd say even slower than before. And that being because of that surface tension grabbing onto the solution of bead release. All right, now there's a big drip on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but I don't want that big drip. I don't want to have a lot of extra bead release. Oh, there, just some of it came off. I don't want to have a lot of bead release on the end. What that can do sometimes when I'm making a bead is it can leave kind of like this big pancake or cookie that will then later fall off. And I want the consistency of this bead release to be even better than it is now. So I'll hold it above and then take something like, well, here I'm going to use my pliers and I'm going to tap the surface or the top of the mandrel. And just that little bit of vibration of tapping is going to pull the bead release off the bottom and smooth it out, and it will drip on the bottom. Oh, there's a drip. Another drip. I'll even spin a little bit this hand as I'm doing it to make sure that it's even all the way around. A couple more drips. Yep, right there. And then the very last thing I'll do is I'll carefully scrape across the top of the jar, and then that will remove any extra bead release on the end that would then maybe flake off when I'm working it in the flame. And there you have a really beautiful surface. So carefully put it in there. Don't let them touch each other. I hope that that is helpful and maybe an inspiration to work with mandrels that are different sizes for your bead making. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'd be thrilled to answer them, and happy bead making.